Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's first of all, it's Saturday afternoon around 12:47. I'm just leaving the house. I am headed to my hair appointment. That's why my hair might look a little, it's not done at all. It's just there. So originally my hair appointment was for 3 today. I always usually schedule it for 3. That way, if I'm doing any deliveries in the morning, I can do that and have plenty of time to just do my deliveries and completely do that, and then in the afternoon go to my hair appointment. And my hair appointment is about an hour. She's about an hour from me, up north. So it gives me an hour to drive there. It just gives me plenty of time, so I always set it for 3. But she always does this every time. Well, not every time, I would say, but a lot of times she'll do this. We'll set it for 3, we both put it in our phone. It's in there. And then the day of, I always confirm. Because I used to have issues with her. I've been going to her for years. I think since 2013. And I just happen to remember the year because of when I first started going to her. Anyway, so I used to have issues. Now before, she's a single mom. She has 4 children, I want to say. Yeah, she has 4 children. I mean, they're she has 2 that are no, she has 3 that are technically grown now, but they're college age, so they're not completely grown on their own. She's still helping them out with stuff. But anyway, single mom, 4 children, and she also lives with her parent. I don't know whose house it is or whatever, but her parents and her 4 kids all live in the same house. And her parents are both, they're disabled. Her mother is in a wheelchair, and they have some issues. So she's helping them, her parents, and then she's got her kids. And when I first started going to her, her youngest daughter was probably, I want to say I don't know, 6 or 7. She was, young. And, So anyway, so back then, again, mother of 4, helping out her parents and her kids. Truly a sandwich generation situation, but they're all in the same house. And she does hair at her house in her basement. So I mean, that's convenient for her, and her customers, as well, I guess, But anyway, so she was in school at the time when I first started going to her, in school for her master's, I think. Work a full-time job, does hair part-time on the side. This woman had a lot going on. She had a lot on her plate. So she would, there would be a lot of appointments where we would schedule for a certain time, and she would be like, oh, I didn't have that in my calendar. Maybe not that, but it would just be oh, I can't do your hair today, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And I would be like, you gotta be kidding. So what I do after that happened a couple of times, I just confirm. I always confirm the day of. I just like, hey, just wanted to confirm today at 3, And because I know her so well, like, I know that what she's been doing. I turn here. I always get this confused. No, I turn up here. What is happening here? They got food trucks in this little community. Yeah, so she does this little thing where, again, when she asks me what time do I want my appointment, I'll say 3 o'clock on the Saturday that I schedule it. I always schedule it on a Saturday. Now that I live where I live, I mean, when I used to live closer to her, I could schedule it on the evening after work, and it was no big deal. But now there's no way I'm scheduling an appointment with her after work. It's just not going to happen unless I have a half day or something like that. But anyway, so she does this thing where I schedule it for 3, and then I'll text her earlier in the day, and she'll say, you could come earlier. You could come earlier. I may have mentioned this on at least one video before. Now that I'm saying it, I feel like I may have. But she'll be like, you could come earlier. And I'm like, I could come earlier? Like, well, I have it. I mean, I have it planned for 3 o'clock. Like, that's what I'm thinking. But then in my mind, I'm like, you know what? Let me go earlier. The one thing about her prices are great. They're great. I used to go to the woman that I left. No, I went to a couple people sent, like, okay, let me give you the whole story. Again, I've been going to this particular woman since 2013. At one point, I left her. I left. I'm trying to think of why I actually left. I know at one point I went natural. And for anybody that doesn't know what that means, it means that I was getting a perm. I would get a perm every, 6 weeks or whatever. And then, there was the whole Black woman's natural movement came about. And I was like, you know what? That's a great idea. Because we don't need to be putting these chemicals in our hair. We don't know what these chemicals are doing to our body. All of that. So, yeah. So I stopped doing the perm and went natural. And it took a while, of course there was a transition because my perm hair had to, grow. My unpermed hair had to grow out. So at one point I did the big chop, which, again, if you know, you know. I did the big chop, and she did a great job. She cut my hair, and I had never worn my hair that low. I mean, it wasn't like I wasn't like bald or anywhere close to bald, but she gave me a nice little short. I'll say it was more like a pixie cut, but it was all natural hair with no permed hair in there. So I wore that for a while, and then it started growing out, and then we would try, we would do different hairstyles, and and that just wasn't my world. I wasn't like, that wasn't my world. And quite frankly, I wasn't familiar with my own hair in its natural state. Just brutally honest, I just wasn't used to it. And it was a lot for me to manage on my own. I have very thick hair. So yeah, so I wasn't liking how my hair looked, quite frankly. And I mean, when I did it on my own. And she did it, it was fine, but you know, I mean, I had to do it I had to do something with it every day. So when I did something with it every day, I just wasn't liking it. You know, whether it be a twist out or whatever. I just wasn't liking it. It just, the naturalness of it. I mean, I think between me, I wear, you see, I wear makeup. Like, I'm more of a glam girl, if you will. I mean, you can't tell by my nails, but I'm more of a glam girl with my makeup. And so the hair just didn't go with the makeup and the glam look. And I was having issues with it. I did not feel like my best self. I'm just being brutally honest. And that might be my own issues and all, but I just did not feel like my best self with my hair in its complete natural state. Because my hair I had a very loose curl. And again, if you know, you know. You know, there's tight curls and there's all different, what was it, like 4B or 4, you know, it was all different levels of curl. My hair didn't curl up. Like, I wasn't getting those tight spiral curls. My hair was very loosely curled. Like when it was in its natural state, you know, when it was wet and then you put some product in it, it was not the tight curls. It was very loose. So I was like confused, like, wait a minute. I thought, especially since my hair's thick, like, it just didn't make sense to me. How do I have thick hair, but yet I don't get those coils? Anyway, so I remember, you know, going to my beautician one day, and I was like, you know, the same beautician that I'm talking about, and I said, I don't like the look of this. And she was like, okay, you know, like, she was kind of like, well, this was your idea, like, you know, like, so, yeah, so, okay, so then we went from that to, now, from that point on, I continued, my hair is natural right now. Natural meaning no perm, no chemical. But I do straighten my hair now. Because back then I didn't straighten my hair. I just wore it. I wore it again in its natural state. So then I went to her and I was like, yo, this ain't working for me. And she straightened it. And when she straightened it, I loved it. I loved it. It was basically, now why? I'm sorry, give me a second. Okay, that's a little better. Okay. Yeah, so she straightened it. She straightened my hair. And the straightened hair looked just like it did when it was permed. So I was like, cool. We'll do this. Let's do this. And honestly, I've been doing that since then. That's why right now, because I haven't been to her it's been 3 weeks. I had to reschedule last week. Yeah. So if you and I don't know if you notice all of this, but if you my hair is like a little puffier than it usually is. That's because my roots are puffy. My roots are in its natural state. This part is straight, but my roots are, anyway, I'm going too deep. Anyway, long story short, me and her have been through a lot. So then, oh, okay, I remember. I had an event coming up that I needed my hair to be nice. And she wasn't available to do it the day I needed her to do it for the event. And so, like, she was going out of town or something. So my girlfriend had someone that could do my hair. And so I went to her. And so, like, this woman did my hair on a whole nother level. Still straightened it, no chemical, but it was on a whole nother level. I mean, she straightened it like straighter than my hair had ever been straightened. And this particular other hairstylist was like all about the health of the hair, and she gonna give you a treat. First of all, she was a con artist. And me and my sisters, well, one sister in particular, we went there together. You know, like we both went to her. But this woman was a con artist, because she would be like, she gonna give us this treatment and all of this, and then she was like, she considered herself more like a celebrity stylist. All that meant was that she was gonna charge us a lot more. So I would pay her somewhere in the neighborhood. It was over $100. Let's say $125 was her average price for just, you know, washing my hair, I guess, giving me this treatment, and then straightening it. Like $125, and you know, by the time you tip her, you know, you almost at $150 or something like that. So I've never paid that. I've never paid anywhere close to that for my hair, ever. Like, I'm not one of these women that get braids and, you know, I pay a couple $100, and no, I never paid anywhere near that for my hair. So, okay. And I think I was going to her, was it once a month, or I forget how often I was going to her. But I liked her. I liked the look. I mean, my hair was like, ooh la la, you know. And I was like, I need some, you know, maybe this is what I need. So I basically broke up with the original woman that I was telling you about, with the 4 kids and all. And I never gave her any, like, notice that I was leaving or anything. I just left. Or that time she couldn't do my hair, I just started going to this new woman, and, you know, I thought the rest was history. But then when the new woman, like I said, I couldn't afford that. I just couldn't afford that. My sister hung in there longer than me, but she got to the point where it wasn't that we couldn't afford it. It was that we didn't see the value in it. Because again, oh shoot, I forgot I needed to get gas. What is wrong with me? I completely forgot that I needed to get gas. Like, my gas light is on right now. Let me see. Is there any way? Are you kidding me? No. Okay, I'm gonna go to this BP now. BP is a good gas. Which way? Why are they still sitting down? Are you open? Do you want service?
Hello.
Hi. I'm sorry, give me a second. Let me just get $10 regular.
10 regular cash.
Cash. Yeah, I'm only getting $10 here because I like Shell gas. I've been getting Shell for a while now, and Shell does me good. I mean, this is BP. They're good too, but I'm just used to Shell, and I want to stick with Shell, so I'm only going to get $10. Anyway, what's I talking about? Yeah, so I stopped going to the expensive woman, and you know, so then I went to the Dominicans. My coworker recommended the Dominican where she goes. Went to her, and the lady was nice. There was just a language barrier, you know. There was a language barrier, and I remember when she thank you. I remember I was thinking it would take longer. I usually fill it up, but I guess for $10 it don't take that long. Yeah, there was a language barrier with the Dominican lady. Now, one thing about Dominicans, if you've ever, you know, gotten your hair done from them, they will straighten your hair. My hair would be bone straight. But the issue, were you gonna let me? I thought you were gonna let me go. Thank you. They will straighten your hair for sure, but like I said, there was a language barrier. I had her color my hair one time, and one thing about them, like they straighten. That's their area of expertise, is straightening. They're not, in my opinion, they're not where you go to get your hair colored. And I learned that the hard way. I asked for brown. My hair, she gave me black. Their black was my brown. And I was like, oh my God, my hair is jet black. Anyway. But you got to go through stuff in order to learn, you know. Anyway, I went to her for a while. But like I said, there was the language barrier, and like I was like, nah. So then I went back to I reached out to my old girl with the 4 kids, and I was like, hey, I was just wondering if you could do my hair. And she was like, sure, when you want to come. Like, she took me back with there was no, girl, where you been? Who been doing your hair? There was none of that. It was just, when you want to come. And she took me right back. And that's the thing I love about her is, you know, there's no judgment. She just, you know, when you want to come, you know. And so I've been back there ever since. And I can't even tell you how long ago that was. At least a year. I believe. So yeah, so I've been going back to her, but like I said, I started out the whole conversation saying the thing I don't, you know, there's little things that I don't like about her. Oh my God, all of a sudden my stomach is like a little upset. Things I don't like about her is that she'll try to shift my appointment, and I think it's because she has double booked somebody at the same time. If she got me down for 3 o'clock, she's got somebody else down for 3 o'clock. And so she'll say, you can come earlier. Like when she said today, when I texted her and I said, just confirming for 3 p.m. And she said, you could come earlier. And I was like, what time earlier? And I texted her at noon or close to noon. She was like, I'm free now. And I'm like, first of all, I'm an hour away from you. Second of all, I'm not even dressed. You know, like, you know, like, anyway. But she's my girl, because, okay, again, that other woman charged me about $125, again, before tax. She charges me $25. $25 for just a basic wash and blow dry. You know, wash, blow, dry, whatever style. $25. Now, is it on the same level? No, absolutely not. But who cares? For $25, I think my hair looks pretty good. And of course, if I get other things like color and cut, it's more, but still. And now, don't get me wrong, when she cuts it, it's not always even. It's not always even. Like, I'll have to point out to her, like, oh, this side is a little bit shorter than this side. But like, for $25, I'll even it out myself. Anyway, that's where I'm headed to right now, is my hairdresser. And yeah, that's pretty much gonna be the bulk of my day. And I will catch you guys later. Bye. Have a great day. Don't forget to like the video and comment below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. God bless.